if we go to the album, I believe a lot of the songs you had for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
What was the first song that on the record, or the earliest song on the record that you wrote?
The earliest song on the record that I wrote, there were probably a few that I wrote around the same time.
Okay.
A few years before. Automobile probably.
Mm.
And I would say Automobile. Maybe Walk on Water. No, that's not even on there. I'm sorry. My mind is gone. I'm sorry. Automobile, I think, would probably be one of the first.
Well, and was this written in Iceland still?
Yeah, well, I wrote it in Spain on
Okay.
vacation, but living in Iceland still, yes.
Do you remember when you wrote it? When you
Sure.
mentioned Spain, do you remember it?
Yeah.
What was kind of the context?
I think the context was really just like a getaway, you
Okay.
know, and probably sitting in the sun in Spain kind of made the song very bright.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd never been to the U.S. at that point. That's kind of what's funny about it, you know,
Mm.
seeing about all these places in California in automobile, but I had never visited until 2 years ago when we first arrived.
Right. And well, you mentioned how automobile came together. Is writing, especially in the early stages, is that a solitary process for you? Is that something you like to do alone?
Oh yeah,
Right.
that's what I do. Yeah.
Why do you need to be in a certain mood? Do you need to?
It's very different.
Okay.
I think a song can happen from just a small idea or a concept or a small melody or something in your head. I think some songs are very easy to finish. You just it's finished in maybe it takes you half an hour and it's there. Some songs you have to work on and you add stuff and you change stuff and you know it's very. I think every song is a different process for me, at least. That's how it works.
Okay. And well, you mentioned early on in the interview that there's two sides to the record.
Mm-hmm.
When did you decide on this? Was this the plan from the beginning, so to say, for the debut record?
No, I don't know if it was. I just thought it was an idea to kind of show two sides. Well, you know, yeah, to show the dynamics of the band and the diversity. I think that's kind of the experience that people have when they come to the show,
Mm-hmm.
and that's somehow what I wanted to get through on the album. You know, is show the many aspects of the music and this was an idea that I thought would work pretty well, just to kind of split it up.
Right, and then you mentioned that well, that every song that you write is different, the process in a way, but for instance, the A side on the record. Do you have to be in a kind of because I asked you about the mood? Are those more closely linked together in the way they come together, or is it still?
Like the rock and roll stuff.
Mm-hmm.
No, funny enough, most of the times I write the guitar lyric. Guitar licks I mostly write on probably an acoustic guitar.
Okay.
And then I move it on to an electric guitar
Right.
later and work on the sound. But I also didn't play electric guitar 3.5 years ago. So
Okay.
it's yeah. But no, even the rock and roll, it's different. It's.
Mm.
It can be, like I said, anywhere, just a lyric or a chorus that think that will work well. Can come from nothing, but yeah. So it's each one is different.
Sure. Well, you mentioned something very interesting because that you picked up the electric guitar only 3 years ago.
Mm.
Did you notice a change in the way you wrote songs?
Sure, I think I think some of the rock and roll stuff probably wouldn't have happened unless I picked up the electric guitar. But that's also fun, I think, and that's why I think it's interesting to keep exploring as a
Sure.
musician too, and maybe learn how to play new instruments, or you might end up writing songs that you wouldn't have unless you try something new.
Right. Is there maybe a song on the record that kind of came together like that by trying something new?
Perhaps without knowing it.
Right.
I'm not sure.
Right.
Maybe.
Well, obviously, Way Down We Go, a very successful song.
Mm-hmm.
when I listen to it, there's almost, because it gets used in a lot of TV shows.
Sure.
Is there a visual quality for you to music?
Not sure. What do you mean exactly?
Well, for instance, when I hear the song, I can kind of picture things.
No, not really. I think with most of the songs, because that would probably, if I'm working on a song for a long period of time, that would be a lot of different moments.
Right,
that I would have to connect with that. But no, I'm not sure if I do.
Okay. Well, that can.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And like you say, diversity is very important and to show that diversity. So, how come this is important to you? Because there are well, you can go either way. You can be very diverse. You can like AC/DC. They play the same 3 chords, but they've done it well.
Yeah.
So, what for you? Why is it important for you to show that you have all these sides?
I think it's just because that's the way I write music.
Okay.
And I just try not to. I try to keep it as organic as I can. I don't decide this. I'm gonna write the rock song or whatever. I just, I didn't sing falsetto until I wrote All the Pretty Girls, and I didn't whistle until I wrote Automobile. And so these kind of things just happen. I think that's because I do think that I see myself as a songwriter first and foremost.
Right.
So. Yeah, I think that's important to just stay organic and try to do it somehow naturally, and I think that's always the best result instead of pushing things or forcing them. I try not to label stuff too much, but obviously people do. That's just what people do, and that's fine. But I guess I just find it more interesting to do different things.
And then, well, you say you consider yourself first and foremost as a songwriter. So living in Austin, living in Nashville, how has that kind of developed what you do?
I don't think it's affected me too much, some of the places, because we've just spent so much time on the road.
Right.
So really the question would be, how does the road life, or, the bus? I sometimes joke about all my songs will probably only be about a bus pretty soon, but no, it's kind of been difficult. It's been a challenge, both recording an album on tour while touring,
right,
as well as trying to find time to write. And I do like to go back to Iceland when I can now and focus on some writing. But you do adapt, and you try to find the time when you can and stuff. But it's also great to have a little bit of time off sometimes.
Sure. And well, like I said, a lot of the songs they were you already had them. Have you been writing a lot lately? And I assume you have. So what do you notice about what you're writing now? And
yeah, absolutely. It's kind of the the same vibe. But like I said, it's really, it can be hard to find time. So I'm hoping that that come Christmas and for the next year I'll have some time to write the next album and really have some time off to kind of organize my thoughts a little bit.
Sure. Finally then, do you have the live show in mind when you write? Because, like you say, you tour so much.
That's a good question. No, usually I don't think about, is this song going to be a hit or is it this and that? I'm mostly just focused on the song and what I appreciate about it and try to make it the best it can be. That's kind of I think that first step has to be honest, authentic in a way, but definitely maybe a little later you do think, okay, this could be fun to play, for a crowd, to have them, like Glass House was obviously, it was really fun to sing with a crowd that's chanting along or singing along. So
sure.
Good question, but I don't think I focus on it at the very beginning, but definitely maybe later down the line.
And then, well, I said last question, but I have one more. You say you like to discover new things. Is there anything you're doing now? Is there maybe a new instrument you like to pick up, or you've already picked up?
Yeah, I did buy a saxophone.
Okay.
That's just laying there in Iceland. Yeah. Like I said, if I maybe when I have some time, that's one of my favorite instruments. So yeah, there are many instruments you can still learn to play. So hopefully.
So the future's still very open.
I hope so. I'm not gonna, put pressure on myself, but I would like to someday. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for
Thank
your
you,
time.
man.
Thanks.